this meeting to order. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any public comment? Comment, okay. Engineer update, JD?
Good afternoon. JD King, Page County Engineer. Fine winter day in Page County. It's fine because it's cold, but we missed the snow.
Yes, we
That's
did.
okay. It's okay. The engineer update was sent out yesterday afternoon. We'll get this schedule figured out, routine, and I think this will work fine. Our operations at the secondary road department are weather dependent. We're out burning brush for the first part of the week. With any forecast works out, we'll be cutting brush later in the week when it's not quite so cold. We also had a couple crews out doing culvert inventory with the tablets. We haven't done a culvert inventory for several years. I think Rex was probably still here when we did the last one. And when we start cutting trees again, we'll have a shear and the other hoe up, well, be southeast of Coin, out on J and 290 in that area. We don't have any trucks out hauling rock, nor blades. Sent number 30, which had steering problems, up to Omaha. We're working in some pickups that the sheriff's getting rid of into our fleet. Working on tires of a motor grader and working on one of our other pickups. We didn't send snowplow trucks out this weekend. We went to look a couple different times, but they were promising us some snow, or they were forecasting us some snow, but shucks, we missed it. And that's okay. We did, as I noted on the email part, we did yesterday morning, we sent out, mid-morning, we sent out one truck down by Braddyville on J55. Decided there was enough snow to push there, get that off so it wouldn't thaw and refreeze. The crew is working on the Essex North Bridge. They have a concrete placement scheduled for Thursday afternoon, and then it'll be insulated and heated over the weekend. And they've continued to progress. Working on the county budget with the auditor, and as of today, we're planning to move office from the current building up to the annex latter part of next week. But we don't have phones yet, so that'll affect. But that's quite a story. The phone.
Okay,
We've told them about it more than 60 days ago.
right.
We don't have phones yet. Huh.
I thought
And
we
maybe,
did.
maybe that's a technique that,
I thought that was taken care of. No,
not yet.
okay,
And we have a guardrail safety project coming up in the letting a couple Tuesdays from now. So the third Tuesday of every month is the letting. And we'll have a safety project in January. The letting for work this summer. Questions about the update?
I was at Public Health today for a meeting and they're so excited about you moving.
Well, good.
Yes.
They
They're
could
they're happy to have you as a new neighbor.
have a little company that somebody else to talk
Yes.
to, perhaps.
And I've already had a call. Somebody wants to buy your building, so
Oh,
it's interesting.
okay, then, very good.
Yeah.
We'll keep moving in that direction.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, JD.
Thanks.
Okay, our next item up is the Samuels Group Law Enforcement Center Project Update. Jeff Curtis, I believe, is online.
Yes, I am. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today?
You.
Good, good, good. I know JD's disappointed in that there's no snow to plow, but I'm perfectly good with us getting some more warm weather so we can keep moving on the jail project. So now that we're up and going, so just wanted to give you a quick update. A&W Enterprises, Justin and his team, Crane Construction, were on site last Friday, working on some of the stormwater structures, and RCP round concrete pipe were installed. I do believe about 150 some feet of it. So that process keeps going. We do have a pre-construction kickoff meeting tomorrow morning. I did send out invites, and thank you folks for joining in. Again, what that'll be is just kind of a touch base with the contractors that are going to be awarded the contracts, going through some of the logistical and documentation that's going to be required of them to get their contracts up and going. When it comes to the contract signing, Judy, do you want an actual hard copy, or should we do it for your wet signature, or are you good with doing it electronically through DocuSign?
I would think electronically, isn't that what we did before?
Correct. It'll be coming to you. One thing that you'll see prior to, you won't see anything coming through here real super quick. Reason being is during tomorrow's meeting, we're going to go through the process of explaining how we're going to work the contracts like we had spoken before. The original contract that you'll be signing will be for the bid amount. At the same time, you will be signing a deductive change order, getting their actual contract value down to the budget values that you folks were given last week via with Sid. So we just want to make sure everybody's on the same page and understands the full process on that. That way everything will be coming in at that number dollars, or the dollar value after the VE items have been deducted. So what we'll do is I walk you through the process once we get that going. And then once we get those all signed off, back to where the budget numbers are that you guys have, we're all set to go, and we'll get going with the rest of the processes with payment performance bonds, certificate of insurances, letting them understand the whole lien release when it comes to payments in that situation. So again, that'll be some of the logistical stuff and some of the conversations we'll have tomorrow during the pre-construction meeting. So if you have any questions at all, please, again, that'll be done virtually. Just say, hey, I've got a question, and we'll go through that process also. All right.
Okay.
Any questions of me as of right now?
And that meeting tomorrow is mostly just us listening, right? It's not,
There's no,
'cause I don't think we have an agenda or anything for tomorrow, but I was planning on calling it. We're not voting on anything.
nope, nothing being voted on. That's just something that we do internally. Again, get all the players on board. Tell everybody turn the cameras on so they can see faces. Typically, we like to do that face to face, but with time of year that it is and not having a trailer on site, we'll do it virtually. And then once the project gets a little bit closer to precast and foundations going in, we'll have the trailer there, and then we'll do a couple of face-to-face meetings. One's called a pull plan session. What that does is helps define the schedule even further yet for each prime contractor's sequence of work operations to where everybody plays nice in the sandbox. That way everybody gets to know each other better, and then work through some of the details if we have any stacking of trades, we call it, just to make sure everybody understands the process, who's going first, who's following who, right down through the line until we turn the keys over to the new building to you guys. So yeah,
So that's at 10 o'clock in the morning.
yes, it is. And again, virtually, no direction needed from the board. Just wanted to make sure you guys were, if you wanted to listen in, you're welcome to do so.
But I need to be on to sign contracts.
You do, no signing of contracts?
tomorrow.
No.
Not tomorrow. Okay.
It'll be first part of the week, next week.
Okay.
I let everybody know that the board had approved the contracts, excluding the food services portion of it. And they understand that. So that's the reason why I want this meeting to go over how we're going to do the whole process of the initial bid value on the contract and then the reduction to get them down to the VE contract value at that point. So they understand that whole process. It's easier to do it that route there instead of having to send things back and forth 3-4 different times. That way it's clear and defined.
And
Okay.
Jeff, are we still, I guess, are we still working towards trying to lower that overall cost?
100%. That's one thing they'll
Okay.
get challenged with again tomorrow.
Okay.
Again, like we said, once they get the contracts in hand, they can reach out more to their vendors as long as we're within the design intent of the contract documents. If they say, hey, we can do this, we can go that route there, just as long as we meet all the necessary codes and everything. So yes, we continue to keep working that.
Thank you.
That's good to hear.
And that's what you, again, we want to get it down as low as we possibly can. And again, you guys will control the whole contingency dollar value, that 478,000. So we work through with that, make sure everybody's on board. And again, you guys get the final blessing before those monies get spent on that, out of that contingency. So we vet everything for you folks. That's what I like to do. And again, ultimately, let's get that the value or the project down where it needs to be as best as we possibly can. Can we get all the way there? We'll keep working at it. And that's what the contractors have been challenged with. So.
Great.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff.
My phone's always on. Please reach out at any point in time with any questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye. Okay. Okay, moving right along. Compensation Board. Okay, this is where we're going to have some discussion with the elected officials. We have a choice. This is kind of a late thing because we have the opportunity to either keep the compensation board or do without the compensation board. And it's a hard thing to understand for all of us, I think. ISAC has tried to explain it. The law changed this year. There were changes in it. And I'm gonna quit saying, I did it again. We can either dissolve the compensation board or we can establish a compensation board. The time frame is late. A lot of counties have not decided yet. Some counties have decided. Some counties have kept the compensation board. Some counties have dissolved the compensation board. We need to decide. I've talked to a few of you, or all of you, I guess, this afternoon. Now we need to discuss it. So I'm going to open the floor to you to decide what you want to do, whether you want to establish the compensation board or whether you want the supervisors to decide what we want to do with compensation. Don't everybody speak at once. Sure, come on up and speak into the microphone and we'll just record what you have to say.
Brenda, science recorder. My concerns were that because of the time limitations, that we haven't brought this up for discussion, that maybe we can this year, step out and have the board of supervisors take over that decision. This means the governor made her decision on July 1st. I don't know don't know what everybody else feels like, but I feel like, I think means these are volunteers that we have. And that I think that this might be pushing them to research it and come up with, information for us. I don't know. I don't know everybody else's thoughts, but
I visited with Brenda and I feel the same way. I feel that it's a lot of responsibility on volunteers in a very short time frame. If we had made this decision, back in July 30th, 30 days after the governor dissolved them, because they're all dissolved right now, so we would have to reinstate it.
Yep.
I feel like, we could have maybe began research to help our volunteers and they could have done their own. And even in past meetings, they've asked for more time, like the last few years, every time they say we would like more time, because they don't take it lightly. And I think that as appreciation, I feel that we need to, give them what they're requesting, and I just don't think that we can do that this year. Do I think it's something that we can't revisit every year? I don't. I feel like we can definitely revisit this, even now for 2025 or 26, excuse me. But for me, I'm just thinking of the volunteers. I don't know that I feel it's fair to them in our short time frame. And I think the governor dissolved it for a reason, that maybe it wasn't best practice, maybe that we should see how the county boards can handle it. So you're elected to make, big decisions, another thing to decide.
Yep.
That's just my thought. Todd's like,
No,
Carl Songson, Page County Attorney's Office. I don't have a whole lot to add to what Angie said. I would agree with her. I can see good points and bad points to reinstating a comp board. But I think at least at this point in time, it's a little bit of a time crunch to do so this year. So I guess I would agree that with both Brenda and Angie, that probably best to this year have the Board of Supervisors make that decision. Each elected can present their case to the board and we can see how that works and maybe readdress that next year. Thank you.
thanks.
I'm not gonna buck the system here. Charles McCollum, new sheriff here in Page County. I agree with everybody here that, let's let the board make this decision. I think we're all adults here and that we can all get along enough to be reasonable, for pay increases and be able to work back and forth that let's work together, not against each other.
Okay.
Just a quick question from any of you. So what's the pros and cons of having your,
I guess from my experience, I've done this be about 10 years here. It seems like whatever the comp board votes for is routinely chopped in half or even less. So I don't know if I guess I'm not sure if their recommendations are taken as seriously as they should be, or maybe it's just a matter of, it's economics. We don't have enough money to follow what the comp board recommends. I don't know if it's a good thing to have sort of an intermediary between the elected officials and the Board of Supervisors. I suppose there's good points to that too. There's some isolation because you guys do our budgets. I don't know. I guess I can just see it both ways on that. But as Angie noted, these folks volunteer their time to come in and they have to listen to all of us talk about comparable salaries here and there and why we think we should get X amount of an increase and our staff also. So I guess there are good points to each side of it. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know if.
I think my only other input to that would be, I think one of the main goals maybe is how it was always told to us of why there was a compensation board. It's so that maybe, let's say I made Todd really mad in something I did in my office. He couldn't, because then he would control my salary. He couldn't use that. So we had that board that then you could only adjust. You couldn't just still come at me as the treasurer because I made one of the Board of Supervisors upset. So I feel like that was some of the maybe background of a compensation board, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I just have always felt like that was a way to keep things fair. But if you look at the new regulations, which I had not realized until Judy had said that when we visited, that you can now even not just cut everybody's in half the same, you can choose to meet. So there again, I've made Todd mad. I'm just using that. I really hope I haven't made Todd mad. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so they've taken that out of that. equation. So the one thing that maybe we all thought the compensation board stood for is now gone anyway. So that's just another.
And what I really appreciate right now is being able to talk.
Yeah, me too.
And I think being a former auditor, and I know some people don't like to hear that, but I really appreciate being able to talk to each other, and I really appreciate the jobs that you do. I really, really do. You guys do a good job. And I really appreciate that, and I would love to give everybody a huge salary increase, but we all know that's not possible. So I haven't even looked at budget numbers or anything else. None of us have at this point, and the time frame is short, but we're gonna look at them. My thing right now is the blue part of this budget or part of this comp board thing. And that's the scary part of it. So we're all gonna have to look at that and really look at it and really try to study it and figure out where we're going, and ask for Charles's forgiveness or help or whatever in going forward with this. And I think, we're just gonna have to work together to see where we go with it if we, don't establish a comp board. So
Make a
plan.
Yeah,
make a plan, yeah, make a plan. And you guys are gonna have to work with us. So it sounds to me that we don't want a comp board, that they don't want a comp board.
and like I said, I mean, I think it's good to try it out this year.
Yeah.
See how it goes. If you guys are satisfied next year with it, then we keep it. Or if you guys say, hey, there was a lot of problems, maybe we should go back to the comp board. It gives
can
us
do
some
that.
time to do that. And I like it just because we don't have a middleman. We can kind of
Mhm.
talk. And then the other thing is, like you said, it's not necessarily now where we have to figure out, okay, how do we balance it across the board so everybody's equal? You don't really have to do that. But yeah, so, I mean, like I said, I can see pros and cons to both, but it's kind of nice I think when you had somebody coming in representing you, they'd ask for a certain amount. And we knew already, when they started asking for that amount, that it wasn't gonna be possible to do it because of the budget or whatever. And so we're tied a little bit more to the budget and more realistic of, what can we do? What can we, achieve? So, that way it's not like, well, Angie's asking for 12% raise. And, and it's not, it's not, we're just like, and we look like the bad guys because we're like, we can't give you that, you may be worth it, but we can't give it to you. So, I think it'll be better just all around for us to work together on it.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it's putting a lot on us, the three of us. We're gonna have to really do a lot of studying, and a lot of work in the next week or two.
Just like.
And please do.
yes, absolutely.
We did that for compensation rep. We
Yeah.
gave you letters with numbers. I mean, we can
Right.
continue to do that and
Yeah.
not leave all of that on you. I think just being part of the discussion, I'm sure we all appreciate, and we appreciate you
Yeah.
listening to our comments.
Right, yep,
And I guess that's what I anticipated was each of us would have an opportunity to present our case. to the-
yeah, because I think it says like, show your work or whatever.
Right.
That's the big thing that they
And
want.
I think that would be really good if you would each provide information to us.
Data maybe from your.
Yeah. Just
I've
give
got-
it to us in writing.
Get all your caseload, just.
Yeah, like how-
Yeah.
I think this is what it's all about, is the working together. And I talked to Cindy downstairs and, she's new, so she doesn't really have a lot of input at this point. But I think just talking together and working together is what makes this county great and is gonna make it great. So I think that's what we need to do. And so if you'll provide us with your information, and if Charles and I've talked and he'll provide us with some more information. And you guys provide us with your information and we'll set up some meetings and get working harder in the next week or two. So, yeah, and we'll try to get figures out so we can get the budget going. So you guys can I know Cindy has insurance figures now, and so all you need are figures for wages. All you need, so yeah, so that we can get the social security or the FICA and the IPERS and all that in there, so yeah.
It's,
Okay.
did you want to say how you feel about popcorn? No? Okay. No, I don't know opinion yet. It's new, right?
She said no opinions when I was talking to her, so yeah, Yeah, so anything else? So basically, the opinion is that we go without a comp board this year, okay? Okay, all right,
Thank you.
yes, thank you, we appreciate it. I guess with that took care of that, I guess we don't need to vote on that, do we?
I
don't
think
think
they
so.
sent, they, on your thing, they had like a resolution, but I don't think.
I don't
they said
think
you didn't-
that's
they said
the
you didn't have to.
resolution if we want to do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
if we want to establish a comp board.
yep, so I don't think.
Since
we
we're
have to
not
do
going to, I don't think we need that, so, okay. The next item up for bids is board communication. Do we have any board communication?
No, I just had one question.
Sure.
So you said you went to a public health, was it a meeting?
Oh, I went to the interagency.
Oh, interagency.
Sorry.
I was like, did I miss one? And
No,
and
no.
The other thing I was gonna ask you was, I don't know that when we had that list of
Uh-huh.
things that we were on,
Right.
boards, I'm not sure public health was on that one.
Oh,
Cause I can go back and look, but
I got it. We got our minutes.
I wanted to clarify with you if I was still on. that
Well,
or-
I'm sure you still are, Todd,
Okay.
but I don't know whether it was on there or not.
I can't remember if it
I
was,
don't remember.
but
Um. Oh my goodness, did we miss it? We'll have to do a special resolution for that.
okay, well, we can talk about it next week
Sure,
and fix it.
we missed it.
Okay. I didn't think it was on there and
It
then I was like,
wasn't.
well, maybe they're not doing that this year.
Nope, it's still there.
Okay,
Okay,
nope, fine.
so we need to add public health.
Yep.
We wouldn't want you to miss one of your assignments.
No, gosh,
Okay,
I don't have any this week. Anything else? really?
no, I went to an interagency meeting at 11 o'clock this morning and, there are so many good things. Chris Hadcock presented, her, report on NAMI, which she sits on that board and there are so many, different boards. Zion was there. We have hospice, we have so many different, Wabansi.
Oh,
We have so many different agencies within the county that provide different services to people. It's amazing. It's amazing.
and do you feel like they all work together really well?
They do work together. There are a lot of them that cross over each other. One of the things that was talked about is that Azria had, given their building, not Azria, well, it is Azria, bought Goldenrod
Oh,
and gave the Goldenrod building to the Thornton Regional Health Center. And they're going to expand their mental health center. I'm not sure how that's gonna affect Wabansi. But anyway, that's another big thing that's happening. And so there's a lot of services that are, being offered to all of Page County.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Shenandoah, Clarinda, the whole Page County area has so many services offered to them. A couple other areas of board communication, February the 4th, I just want to prepare people. We can't have a meeting up here because we're going to have the countywide election. So we probably will not have a meeting on February the 4th. February the 11th, we will have a 9 a.m. meeting.
does it have to be at 9 a.m.?
It has to be 9 a.m. It's the canvas. It's the canvas of the February the 4th meeting. So yes,
And that's on 11th, what did you
that's the
say?
February the 11th.
11.
Yes. So. Is there any way that you can zoom in at a 9 a.m. meeting? Maybe take a
See.
break or something.
February 4th.
February the 11th at 9 a.m.
But no meeting on the 4th.
No meeting on the 4th, probably. We'll see, but we'll see what we have. Unless we have to do something, we may have to change the date or whatever, but. Anyway, just a heads up, so we'll know.
Good.
And Cindy, you might put on the agenda next week, the public health assignment for Todd. Okay. Any other board communication? Okay. Okay, approval of claims. We don't have any claims, but I do want to bring up some claims. On Jacob's last day, he did mention that he had turned in some claims and he mentioned something about shadow, whatever. He turned claims in on December 27th. The deadline for claims at that point was December 23rd. The claims that he turned in, were old claims. He turned in a claim for August of 21 for mileage, which was the 21-22 fiscal year. He turned in claims for mileage for January of 23, February of 23, and a hotel for February of 23. That was the 22-23 fiscal year. He turned in a hotel bill and a mileage bill for August of 23, which was the 23-24 year. Normally, we do not pay claims that are out of a fiscal year, that are past a fiscal year. That's the normal thing because it screws up the budget. So I guess my recommendation is that these claims would not be paid because they're out of the fiscal year. We're in the 24-25 fiscal year.
I was trying to see where.
Oh, I was
because-
gonna hand these out.
Oh, the one-
Sorry.
No, that's right. The one thing that I was confused about was I never knew that there was like a turn-in time, like a.
The turn-in
late-
time is
a
when
late
you
due.
come back,
So
when from the
that there was a
meeting.
date due on them, like, cause that was never conveyed.
Normally, when you come back from a meeting, you turn them in.
Right, normally, but
Yeah.
there was no written process given to us, or at least I never have seen a process saying, okay, here's the process that we have for claims. You can't turn these in past this.
Well, you
this
don't
date.
normally turn them in a different fiscal year, Todd.
I know, some people don't. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Some,
well,
I'm just saying that there wasn't anything.
yeah,
written.
but normally, I mean, in a fiscal year, you would normally turn a claim in a current fiscal year. These are way out of line. I mean, especially a 21-22 fiscal year and that you turn in a 24-25 fiscal year.
So there's
So-
some that are 23, 24.
There's a hotel and a mileage in a 23-24 year that were turned in a 24-25 year. I can see if you turned in a 24 claim in a 24-25 year, but not these. These are way out of line. I'm sorry. If you want something paid, normally you would turn, like, when you go to ISAC or whatever, when you come back, you turn those claims in, right? Yeah, or when you go to jail school, Tony, you turn them in when you come back, right? Or Charles, you turn them in. You don't wait 2 years or 3 years to turn them in. That's just the common practice. You don't wait till a different fiscal year to turn them in. So I guess I need a vote
Or,
on this.
I know too, he had said that he had turned them in
No,
one time and they didn't get processed.
well,
Is that,
no, I don't know about that, but no. He turned him in now in December 27th of 24.
he turned all these in at the same time?
He turned all of these in December 27th.
December 27th.
Yes, and the claims, and then he made a big deal on December 30th that they were not paid because they were due, the deadline for claims was December 23rd. And he made a big deal about them not being paid. If I was the auditor, when I was the auditor, I would have declined paying them. Because you don't wait 3 or 4 years to have them paid. You turn them in when you come back from your meetings. So I need a motion one way or another.
Do we have a
I would.
total amount or anything here?
No, I
we
didn't
don't
do
know what the
amount.
totals are.
I didn't put an amount because I didn't feel like it was necessary to do that. I didn't feel like it was necessary because I don't feel like, I mean, when they're this old. They should have been turned in at the time.
So do we have a policy anywhere or anything?
It's just,
I
it's
just-
just common sense.
I know, but I,
You screw up the budget because your budget is set up to pay the claims in the right fiscal year. Like, okay.
well,
you-
it comes
you
out of
have-
the supervisor budget, right?
It comes out of the supervisor budget and your supervisor budget is set up to pay your, if I go to ISAC and like we're going to meetings this year, okay? So we allot so much to pay for budget for the meetings that we attend this year. They're not to pay for budget to meetings that we attended 3 years ago. Cause that just totally skews the budget. Then we go over budget. If we pay for these now, we're gonna go over budget for us in our meetings now.
So what happened to the money that, like? in the
It went
previous
back into,
budget,
it went
just went
back into the general fund.
Okay.
It's just common sense. It doesn't make any difference who it is. If it was me, I wouldn't expect it to be paid. I would have turned them in at the time or not turned them in at all.
Yeah, that's. I don't know, I would, I guess. Not pay all of them, but maybe the last two that are the newest. The 823s. For the 23-24 year. And maybe not the other older ones that are. Just for the simple fact, I don't know that we had a policy that stated. Clearly. And I know it would be normal to turn them in. But, some people don't think about it if they don't, have a policy in front of them.
Let me ask you a question, Todd. He went to a meeting. What was the last meeting you went to?
Well, it would have been our supervisor meeting.
In
Des Moines,
24.
the one in August. Was it August?
Probably.
Yeah.
He didn't turn one in for that. Okay, so if he comes back now and turns one in for that, are you gonna pay that?
Yeah, well, he should have turned it in.
Right?
And we went back and made sure that these weren't paid, so we went back.
These were not paid, no.
I just didn't want a big argument about like, if he would happen to come back and say, well, I'm owed this money. Cause there was no policy given to me.
But you normally pay in the fiscal year that you're in. You don't go back and pay for something that wasn't,
Right, I get that.
yeah. But if he comes and turns one in for August of 24, are you gonna pay it now?
Well, he's no longer on the board. He probably should have turned it in before he was off the board. But. I mean, I'm glad that we did I think we got that piece of paper sent to us. With the claims when they're due, turned in, is that?
That's
is
something
that
that's
separate,
sent-
different this?
That's something that's sent out every year. That's sent out every year with the due dates. Every year. So that everybody knows, sent to the departments every year. Not something new, you get it every year, right? By the auditor's office.
Oh, for the claims?
Yep, every year.
That's the
Been
first,
done for
that's the
years.
first I've ever seen it.
Been done for years and years and years and years. Way back in my day. That's the only reason they know how they're paid.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yep.
Well, I would like to have some dollar amounts with this, if that's possible.
Well, this last one, the hotel was 378.56 for 23. 824
$378.56.
56. And the mileage was 268 miles. So you can look at 24 and you figure the same thing. So if you pay 23 and he turns in for 24, you're gonna have double that, and it's gonna screw up our 20
Yeah.
or 25 budget. So we're gonna be over.
Okay.
Or you can say, we won't pay anymore.
Maybe we should, ask if he's gonna turn in the 24 one, and that's the only one we pay. That fair?
That could be.
And say we can't pay these, but if you want reimbursed for the 24 that you're up there, get that turned in to us and we can pay that. I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion that we have Jacob pays or turn in his 24 receipts.
For the August
For the
24.
August, yeah, of 24 meetings for ISAC for reimbursement.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor. If Jacob turns in his August 24th bill for ISAC meeting for hotel and mileage, we will pay that.
Yep.
But these others will not be paid.
No.
And we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Okay, now we're on to approving the minutes. Whoops.
Since we're still there, can we get into that? So I've been kind of looking at some of these motel rooms, 325,
That was for
350.
2 days, 2 nights.
I know, but I've seen some of them with just one night.
That
Yeah,
is, that's
there you go.
149 a night.
But I've seen other, not on his, but I've just seen other claims come through, $350 for a motel room.
A
Do we have
night?
Yeah, do
We have a
any-
minimum. I mean, we have a maximum.
Okay,
We have a maximum.
maximum. I was
Yeah.
saying. Should have, because shouldn't be good staying in the fanciest.
We
motels.
have a,
Like when you go to ISAC, they usually have the
the room
booking,
rate.
like a floor booked for the ISAC people. And
Mhm.
usually that fills up. So a lot of times, like I'll stay at the Comfort Inn Suites, which is right down the street and it's about $10 cheaper. So, but Des Moines is really pricey anywhere you go. It doesn't seem to matter. Plus, usually like on the March one, it'll be during the wrestling tournament. The rooms will be booked and prices will be higher and so. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
As long as we do have a maximum.
It's supposed to be a maximum and usually ISAC rate, it's the rate that they give us.
I think that's ISAC, right? I think it's worded as the ISAC rate.
Yeah, now this one, that was the one of the nights, he had 149 one night and 189 another night, so that's why this one was higher. I don't know why. But anyway. And that was at the Comfort Inn, so I don't know why
Yeah.
that was, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, so we have that one taken care of, but yeah, we do have, and I don't know what the auditor's office can tell you what the maximum, what that rate is, so. Okay, moving on to the meeting minutes for January the 2nd.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for January 2nd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 3-0, okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Adjourn?
Excuse me, to adjourn.
I'll approve the adjournment.
You'll approve the adjournment,
How's that?
okay. At 4:46, okay, motion carried.